No, I will not be scanned. Let's make something very, very clear from the jump. We at Nubian Narrator News will not, and I repeat, will not be getting a digital ID. We're not downloading it, not scanning it, not swiping it, not pretending it's convenient, and we are certainly not allowing the state to crawl any deeper into our backsides. The government already knows too much. They've already got their little bureaucratic fingers hooked into every crevice of your existence, your bank records, your medical history, your browsing habits. Hell, they probably know what brand of toilet paper you use, and whether you fold or scrunch. And now they want to digitize your very identity, package it into a nice little barcode, scan it at the door of your own existence and say, "Welcome, citizen, we're here to make your life easier." Easier for who? Because let's be honest, it ain't us. The convenience lie. The sales pitch is seductive. Imagine a world, they whisper, where everything is just one tap away. Your passport, your driver's license, your NHS number, all in one handy little app. They say it like they're offering you free ice cream, but what they're really offering you is the lock on your own cage. This is the same government that loses USB sticks on trains. The same government that lets data breaches slip through like water through a sieve. The same government that somehow managed to give millions of pounds to friends for pandemic contracts, and we're supposed to trust them with our entire identity. That's like giving a toddler a grenade and saying, "Play nice." Let's call it what it is. This isn't about convenience. This isn't about modernization. This is about control. The moment your identity becomes a QR code, your access to society becomes a privilege, not a right. Control disguised as progress. Ah yes, the old bait and switch, the oldest trick in the political handbook. Step 1, say it's for your benefit. Step 2, make it sound trendy and modern. Step 3, quietly hand yourself the keys to everyone's personal life. We've seen this story before, when they said track and trace was just for public health, when they said temporary emergency powers were for safety, when they said just one little database would help fight crime. And every single time, those powers didn't shrink. They expanded, they metastasized, they dug in their claws and refused to let go. Because governments, especially ours, don't give power back. They hoard it like dragons hoard gold. And now they want your digital soul, the banking collar. Here's the clever bit, though. They won't start with enforcement. Oh no. These folks have read the manual on manipulation. They'll start with incentives. You'll get through airport security faster. You won't need to carry all that boring paperwork. You'll have priority access to services. And while you're distracted by that digital lollipop, they'll quietly start closing the old doors. Want to renew your passport without digital ID? Too bad. Want to claim benefits? Sorry, must scan first. Want to vote? Oops, you didn't verify. And just like that, your life becomes one giant bouncer line. No QR code, no entry. Remember when cashless payments started out for convenience? Yeah. Same playbook, different chokehold. The difference this time is that it's not just your money on the line. It's you. Your body, their system. Once they have your digital identity, you are no longer just a person. You are a data set, a glowing little file floating on a government server, waiting to be scanned, shared, tracked and tagged. And you best believe they won't stop at ID. First, it's your passport and driving license, then your medical history, then your employment records, then your location, then your biometric data, and eventually they'll know more about you than you know about yourself. They'll track your every movement, profile your behavior, and decide what level of access you deserve. Dissent too loudly. Access denied, miss a tax payment, delayed verification, protest against the government, security review of your account, and you'll stand there with your phone holding your own digital leash, begging to be let into a world you used to walk through freely. The illusion of choice. They'll tell you this is optional. Oh, I've heard that line before. Optional like TV licenses. Optional like mandatory work programs. Optional like those voluntary forms that mysteriously turn into requirements. Optional until it isn't. It'll start with airport security, move to healthcare, then voting, then your bank, then the bloody bus station, and one day you'll wake up and realize you can't function without it. You can't access anything without that little digital leash wrapped tight around your throat. The privacy myth. They'll swear up and down, hand on their little stack of shredded liberties, that your data is safe. Of course, this is the same government that lost over 25 million child benefit records in the post. The same government that accidentally leaked entire databases of personal information. The same government that leaves laptops on public transport like they're bloody free samples. But this time, they promise they'll keep it safe. Let me tell you something, there is no such thing as secure data in the hands of bureaucrats. There is only useful data, useful for them, exploitable for others. They don't need to kick down your door anymore. They can just flip a switch. Freedom as a transaction. This is the part they never say out loud. In a digital ID world, freedom is no longer a right. It's a transaction. Freedom to travel, swipe here. Freedom to work, scan there. Freedom to speak, error, account under review. And if you step out of line, if you dare to criticize the system, if you refuse to comply, your access can be suspended. Temporarily, of course, for security reasons. And what are you going to do when that day comes? When your digital identity, the one they told you was just a tool, becomes the hand that strangles you. The creeping normality. The most dangerous thing about this entire operation is not the technology, it's the normalisation. They don't need to kick down the door if you'll walk through it yourself. They don't need to chain you if you'll hold the rope. They don't need to silence you if you'll politely log in. And that's how they win. Not with a bang, with a polite notification. Verify to continue. This is how empires slip chains over throats, gently. We refuse. So let me make this crystal clear. We at Nubian Narrator News will not be signing up. We will not be participating. We will not be scanning, swiping, or logging in to our own surveillance. We will resist every attempt to make compliance feel inevitable. We will not normalize it. We will not dress it up in digital glitter and call it progress. If this means we're locked out of their modern society, then so be it. I would rather be a free outsider than a compliant prisoner in a velvet cell. They have burrowed far enough into our rectums. I will not let them breach my intestines. The historical playbook. If you think I'm exaggerating, let's take a stroll down memory lane. Every authoritarian structure in modern history starts with identification. The moment you can be tracked, you can be controlled. The moment you can be controlled, you can be punished for existing wrong. It starts small, ration cards, IDs, tracking systems, and then it grows teeth. Think about it. During the war years, ID cards were temporary measures. They lingered for decades. It took massive civil resistance to scrap them. And that was before the digital age, before algorithmic tracking, before real-time surveillance and centralized databases. We're not walking into this blind. We've seen this before. The difference now, the leash is invisible, and they'll make you think it's your idea. But it's just an app. I can already hear the government spokespeople and their little tech bro cheerleaders. But it's just an app. You already use your phone for everything anyway. Yeah, and that's exactly the problem. When your entire life is already mediated through a device, slipping surveillance into the mix becomes easy. They don't have to control your life if they can just control the software it runs on. The "if you have nothing to hide" crowd. There's always one in the back of the room. Why are you worried if you've got nothing to hide? Listen carefully. Privacy isn't about hiding. It's about having boundaries. You don't leave your bedroom door wide open to the street because you have nothing to hide. You close it because it's your room. You don't hand strangers your diary because you're proud of your life story. You keep it private because it's yours. The idea that only criminals value privacy is one of the most dangerous lies in modern political discourse. It's a lazy excuse for control. The data economy. And make no mistake, your identity isn't just about control, it's also about profit. Every scan, every login, every verification becomes another line in a data ledger. They'll sell it, they'll share it, they'll anonymize it which is bureaucratic code for give it to people with better lawyers than you. They're not building a safer society, they're building a marketplace, and you are the product. The slippery slide. You give them this 1 inch, this neat, shiny digital ID, and it will not stop there. We've seen governments use crises to accelerate power grabs, pandemics, terrorism, economic recessions, all convenient excuses for temporary measures that never seem to end. They will integrate it with digital banking, they will integrate it with transport, they will integrate it with voting, and one day you will wake up and realize that opting out is no longer an option. Real rebellion isn't loud, it's refusal. Here's the thing about real resistance. It doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes rebellion isn't waving banners. Sometimes it's not downloading the app. Sometimes it's refusing to play their game, because the system cannot function without your compliance. That's the dirty little secret. Surveillance isn't built by governments alone. It's built by ordinary people saying, well, everyone else is doing it. No, not here, not us. Global experiment. Let's not pretend this is isolated. Digital ID isn't a UK experiment, it's part of a global rollout. Across the world, governments and private companies are racing to claim digital ownership of human identity. And they're all reading from the same script. It's for your safety, it's for your convenience, it's for the greater good. No, it's for the consolidation of power. Resistance is a duty. I'm not here to make this sound pretty. I'm not here to calm anyone down. I'm here to remind you, this, right here, is one of those historic inflection points. The kind people look back on and say, that's when we let them take too much. Or, if we choose correctly, that's when we said no. What we choose. We can choose compliance, nod politely, scan our little codes, and watch our freedoms dissolve like sugar in hot tea, or we can choose refusal, non-compliance, the stubborn, unruly act of saying no, and yes, they will make it difficult. That's the point. They want you to believe that resisting is pointless. They want you to feel alone. They want you to surrender before the fight begins. But history has never belonged to the compliant. It belongs to the loud, the stubborn, the ones who didn't scan. My final word. This is the line for me. This is where I plant my flag. I'm not a barcode. I'm not a QR code. I'm not a file on some politician's server. I'm a free human being, and I will not, ever, let a government that can't even fix potholes decide the terms of my existence. You can try to make me invisible, lock me out of your digital palaces, deny me your bureaucratic blessings, but you cannot make me bow. I refuse to let the state breach any further into my intestines. We've had enough of the rectal inspections disguised as progress, enough of the algorithmic chokeholds dressed as convenience, enough of this creeping, crawling, smiling authoritarianism in soft-touch packaging. This isn't innovation, this is invasion, and we at Nubian Narrator News, we see you. We will not comply, we will not scan, we will not surrender. Freedom does not die with a gunshot, it dies with a swipe, with a scan, with a verify to continue. Don't let them bury your liberty beneath a login. This is Nubian Narrator News. Observing the collapse so you don't have to. Not right, not left, just real.
Pandergram, the app that matches you with performative allies. Need a political bestie who agrees with you on everything but has never read a single bill? Download Pandergram, the world's first app for finding influencers who fake solidarity and filter their activism through pastel infographics. Swipe left on nuance, swipe right on applause.